Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here. And with some of them, I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal law number 23. The law of economy of force. The law of economy of force is one of the three major laws. The activity aspect. This is the law which adjusts all that concerns the material and spiritual evolution of the cosmos to the best possible advantage and with the least expenditure of force. It is the law of the physical atom, and makes perfect each atom of time and each eternal period, and carries all onward and upward and through, with the least possible effort, with the proper adjustment of equilibrium, and with the necessary rate of rhythm. Unevenness of rhythm is really an illusion of time, and does not exist in the cosmic center. We need to ponder on this, for it holds the secret of peace, and we need to grasp the significance of that word through, for it describes the next racial expansion of consciousness, and has a hidden meaning. The person who aims at providing a point of contact between conditions of chaos and those who work for constructive ends and order, should likewise use that most necessary factor of common sense in all that she or he does. This involves always obedience to the law of economy of force, due to discrimination, and a true sense of values. Where these are present, time will be economized, energy will be wisely distributed, Excessive zeal will be eliminated, and the great ones will be able to depend upon an aspirant's sagacity and thus find a helper.
Well, as usual, that was bigger than Ben-Hur. Once again, let's try and unpack it. I believe that, or my interpretation is that I believe that this law refers to the fact that spiritual and material growth don't need to be forced, and that there should be a relative ease, that it should occur naturally. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we can't prompt, or what it means is we should not push. We shouldn't try and force. We shouldn't be exerting undue effort to develop ourselves, and that it's better actually if we allow things to unfold naturally. So obviously we all, once we start this journey, we all aspire to expand our awareness and to increase our vibration and raise our consciousness. That stands to reason. But when we try and force or push it, we can really throw things out, for want of a better word or better description. We can create a lot of discomfort for ourselves. So the idea is to dedicate our life path to being in alignment with the universal energy. But I'll use an example in a little while on how forcing can occur without us even realizing it, and the implications and consequences of trying to grow quicker than we're ready for, because it's all actually based on getting our chakras in alignment and building strong foundations and allowing the awareness and psychic abilities and clairs and all of that kind of stuff to unfold naturally in their own way. Now, okay, so for an example, most people who start their journey, and this is quite a common thing that I hear speaking to people that teach energy and spiritual work, is many people will arrive at this destination, if you like, or the pit stop on the journey of life, saying, I want to know, I want to be able to see and be magical, because people get awestruck by the ideas of having psychic gifts, which are available, I've got to say, to all of us, should we dedicate our path to it. But they come along and they go, I want to be able to see, I want psychic abilities. They're not interested actually in developing awareness or raising their consciousness. They're actually seeking to have these gifts for questionable intent, and that could be to have control generally over other people. I want to see what is my ex thinking, what is my current person thinking, is the person that I'm interested, are they playing around on me? They're looking to take shortcuts, if you like. So these are not the best foundations to build your gifts on, for want of a better word. Again, description. Okay, so the reality is they tend to put all of their energy into developing these gifts without having strong foundations. And the problems with that is that they develop these gifts, they see things. Actually, I probably should do a video on the clairs. They see things in their mind, perhaps, or they have visions of things, and they're unable to discern what is fact and what is fiction, and what is divine guidance and what isn't. And they become at heightened risk of having psychotic delusions, which is pretty bad, actually, for them, especially if the visions that they're seeing are scary and they believe them to be real. So that would be what we call paranoid psychosis. And my understanding too is that you find a lot of people in psychiatric wards that have got schizophrenia that probably are seeing visions. And in fact, I do know unofficially there are a lot of people that try and teach these very highly medicated people with psychosis the skills of spiritual clearing and cleansing. Anyway, that's a topic for another conversation. Anyway, going back to the law, I do believe it appears to contradict itself at first glance by saying that rhythm is an illusion. That, if I go by the, throwing the chakras out of alignment and the chakra rhythm, that's an illusion. That's what I look at there. But I think that when we further analyse this paragraph, it actually supports what I'm saying. Because even if a person becomes psychotic or falls into where I say that their foundations haven't been put in place, even if all of that happened to the negative aspect of striving too hard, there is a natural rhythm and order, because chaos and a lack of health is part of the natural rhythm, and it's all based on the law of polarities, which I can't remember if we've covered that yet. So because of rhythm, I guess what it's saying is that even if a person does go down this pathway of psychosis and delusion, there can be a balance put in place again, and that people can become healthy through the use, or the wise use, of energy and discernment. So basically, I would interpret that little line there as saying, through teaching them how to discern fact from fiction, what is the fears of their mind as opposed to what is divine guidance. So it's about teaching people. What else might I add to this? Only that within the law, within the paragraph that we read on the other page, that it does say that when we practice discernment and the wise use of energy, then we're better placed to find a universal helper or guide. Now, that guide could be a teacher in body, it could be a light being, right? But either way, this helper will expand the growth of our soul. Now, I would say, absolutely, within this context, I could not agree more, because the universe works in amazing ways. And I also want to put out that, a lot of the people that we put up as spiritual teachers, they come with a lot of knowledge, and they have, God, I'm just thinking, not all of the teachers I've had, I would say, have had moral integrity, and that's aligned with my own values, but they certainly have given me wisdom. And within that goes back to, I will be doing another video on how to be selective about finding a teacher and a mentor, because some of them will actually attempt to use their power in questionable ways, shall we say, but that's up to all of us to learn and discern along the way too. So there's another key for you. Don't try and force it, because if you try and force it and grow too quickly, you might attract the wrong sort of teachers as well. That will then it becomes a setback. Anyway, on to the next page. So I want to make the point that excessive enthusiasm can also be a form of zealism, for want of a better word, and draw upon my own examples of what this can look like for people, and why it can be counterproductive, shall we say, or certainly painful. Okay, so I suspect when I was first learning about energy, and that it was possible to consciously direct thoughts and power, and to connect with the divine, that I was hungry. I became very hungry for more information, more knowledge, more understanding. I was obviously seeking power. I had left the abusive relationship with my ex, and while I wasn't seeking power to control him or anybody else, I definitely was seeking to feel more empowered within my own life and decision making, and also to control my emotional reactions to the triggers and intrusions by him, because of course the abuse went on outside of the marriage too. So I didn't deliberately initially go out there and say, I don't even know how to explain this. Okay, I'll try a different way. Okay, so I didn't recognize what I was doing at the time, because it was all new to me. I had had the experiences, I had had some spiritual experiences, and I was hungry to repeat them. And I didn't have a TV at the time, so instead of watching telly in the evenings, I used to meditate every single night. And what happened was I very rapidly expanded my intuitive gifts, not my clairs, but my intuitive gifts really turned around quite quickly. And I was developing levels of awareness, but I wasn't making, I was at that stage where you're getting your guidance, but you're not sure if it's your head talking to you, if it's just the wishes of your mind or whatever. I was definitely in a place of being completely overwhelmed and confused. And to some extent, I was paralyzed by fear at the time. And anyway, throughout this process, I continued to get some really kick-ass universal kicks up the butt, actually, because I kept ignoring my guidance, if you like, because I couldn't tell the difference, and I kept making some very questionable decisions. So just to put this into perspective, I'd also had a cancer scare, and I'd recognised that because of the cancer scare, that I could cope with whatever life dealt at me as long as I got some forewarning. And anyway, so this was all part of me attempting to meditate excessively. Anyway, where I'm going with this is I became completely ungrounded. I would intuitively know things. I began to learn through practice the power of invocation. I had many, many miracles, but the problem was, and I'll give you a perfect example of this, was at different times, because I was experiencing also extreme financial hardship at the time, the universe would deliver me the money that I needed. If I said that I needed money for rent and I was short, miraculously the money would arrive. And I clearly remember in my mind one time looking at the money situation, and one of my children came home from school saying, "I need new shoes, my shoes are broken." So I've looked at the shoes and I've looked at the rent and I've gone, I'll get the shoes. Well, that wasn't what the money came to me for. The money came to me for rent. I should have actually manifested money for the shoes after that, but I did the rent. So the consequence was I got a breach of tenancy. And in fact, at that particular time, I learned the lesson of, retaining this focus and having a little bit of integrity about your manifestation, because I did actually end up being evicted from that house because I fell behind my rent so many times. I did, just so that you know, there was no case of non-payment of rent. It's just we've got strict conditions here. If you fall behind, or not necessarily that we do, it's dependent on the landlord. They could have had some flexibility there with me. This is in hindsight. We're going back about 25 years now. They could have had a bit of flexibility with me, but obviously they decided I was completely unreliable and too hit and miss with my rent, because I could fall behind quite easily and then I'd have to make it up. So, fair enough, that's their decision. It created grief for me though, because of course putting wants before needs meant that I was then put in a position of having to go through all the struggles of trying to get the money together, to get a truck, to get the furniture removed, get a new place, unsettle my children, put them into a new house, all of this kind of stuff. So this is why I say don't try and force things, just let them grow in the divine way. There is another story, and I'm going to put that into the yarning this week, and that one actually includes what happens when you try and force things from a physiological perspective, because I ended up with some physical pain, I would say around about the same time frame, because I was trying to force my growth and I didn't even realise. So my reminder here is to everybody that, you know what, the life journey is a pathway. We've all got the same destination, and there's no race to the end. You don't get brownie points, and this is why I've got this little image of the trophy here and the flag's like, yay, I made it, We're all going to be an enlightened being. The bottom line is you get to choose. You know what I mean? We all get to choose. And if we're continually focused on pushing forward to the next phase and stage, then we're kind of denying ourselves some comfort and some pleasure in the present moment. But anyway, I shall let you think on that and shake your head at my foolishness. I don't mind. I'm human. I made mistakes. I've made mistakes. I probably will make a lot more mistakes. That's part of life, Take 1, take 2, take 3. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.